It's Jamageddon as Meghan Markle faces a genuine bankruptcy crisis. And I believe the total collapse of this disastrous business explains why she now wants to return to the UK with her tail between her legs. So this is the new matcha product launched this week. Looks utterly revolting. But Julia Sugarbaker revealed, seriously, the girl spends all her time on TikTok stealing ideas. This has reached a new level of psychosis. And then she produced what she thought was the evidence of actually this not being a genuine new idea from Meghan Markle and was never, no matter how revolting the idea actually looked. Hilltop Jennifer agreed with me, actually, saying that the latest collab was revolting. It's apparently matcha and her loose spread. Surely there is nobody on earth who would find this remotely appealing or appetizing. It looks like slime in a glass. But the Royal News Network called it as ever is crumbling, and Meghan is speeding up its inevitable demise. That is because she is now selling the set of the product, which she is desperate to shift for 56 American dollars. And this is now a full-on crisis, with Women's Day in Australia revealing that insiders are now fearing bankruptcy because nothing can save this business. Sources telling the magazine that there are murmurings in Hollywood that As Ever could be bankrupt by the end of the year if it does not manage to sell through the stock. A source telling the magazine in Australia, Meghan just can't move enough product and she can't expect to sell things at full price with shortened expiration dates. Unless she and Harry have some miracle up their sleeve, there might be no saving this business. She should hold a sale, but she knows she's going to be wrecked over it. It's kicking the can down the road because it's TikTok on that As Ever stock. And you will remember it was just a few months ago when Meghan was playing businesswoman to Bloomberg, of all places, saying, I've got 1 million, we're going to sell them all.
Suddenly the conversation goes from at the start of this year talking about a few thousand jars and lids to we need to do a purchase order of 1 million. And that's a huge jump in just a few months of starting a business.
Well, it is. And you didn't listen to Netflix, and now they've walked away. And Alison Boshoff has coined this phrase Jamageddon because of the £3.7 million worth of stock. Royal YouTube sensation, according to Taz, back with Tash, seriously, this is now a huge concern. And I think it does explain why she is now desperately thinking, well, actually, could the return to the UK, if it happens, and I know you've got lots of doubts, but if it does happen, could that be a way to try and get rid of this product because nothing else is working?
I mean, I think the writing was on the wall from the beginning. I don't think anybody ever thought that this was going to be a runaway success. And, you know, in Bloomberg, I watched that interview and they even said Bloomberg had to do a little over edit where they said that we have asked Meghan to give us her sale figures, but she won't. And that to me tells you everything, doesn't it? You know, if she's saying, oh, yeah, no, it's so successful. It's so huge. It's absolutely flying off the shelves. People can't get enough of it. But I'm not going to hand you over my sales figures. It makes you think perhaps she's being as loose with the truth as that source is just runny goopiness. It's disgusting. It looks horrible. I mean, I really don't understand how Meghan can keep pushing that she's such a success at everything. I cannot believe the amount of people that gave her the airtime. Bloomberg, Women of Power, Women of Fortune, you know, Time. They had an interview with her on the stage and they're talking to her like she has been running a successful empire for decades or even 5 years. I mean, she got all of these interviews where they do generally talk to CEOs of big companies, huge power players, people with, you know, big influence. And Meghan is none of those things. And yet they had her on, allowing her to push this narrative that she is this jam mogul, and she's really, really not. And I think it will be wrapping up soon, because this is round about the sort of time that Meghan spends on anything, and she gets bored and she goes on to the next new thing. I think that even the promotion that she's been doing from As Ever has been so completely bizarre. I mean, the photographs that she does are just true narcissism. It's just of herself. But I don't think she's really done a lot marketing wise. The fact that she is saying that it's doing so well, they've had all these extra hits on the internet. I mean, obviously, Jack Royston said, somewhat different, but she just seems to push her version of events out there and be damned if any of it's true. And I think it is in trouble. And I think it was in trouble from the moment that she said that she was changing it from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever. It's not that I wanted to see her fail. If she can become $1 million jam mogul, perhaps it means that they will stop their games with the royal family. But they're obviously not going to stop those games. They're just ramping up again. And it's
honestly,
it's
Tash,
just
that is
inevitable.
such an important point. It is such an important point, and it is one actually that I reported quite some time ago. The reason that King Charles and Prince William genuinely want the business to succeed, genuinely wanted the American project to succeed, is so that they didn't come back, so that they weren't an ongoing issue. So that Harry didn't come with the begging bowl, please, sir, can I have some more Oliver Twist style? They knew that was coming, Tash. So actually, weirdly, despite the ongoing feud and despite the fact that Prince William absolutely believes these two should stay in exile, he was rooting for commercial success for them because it meant that they would stay out of the royal family's hair. And in some ways, the collapse of the business, while we all look at it and say, well, this is hubris, this is karma, it actually creates a lot of issues for the British royal family. But I want to go into some of these figures from this Alison Boshoff deep dive, because I think it's really important to show quite how disastrous what is coming is going to be. But Tash, I wanted to go through the details because on a story like this, the details really matter. She is facing a financial calamity. And the thing is, Tash, the closer that the expiry dates come, the more difficult it is to sell. Because at some point, if she's a good businesswoman, she's actually going to have to acknowledge to her customers that there is an expiry date on these products, or people will be returning them or saying that I'm not happy with the fact that the expiry date is so soon. And that's why I think she's trying to do all of these bundles. But I mean, the figures are eye-wateringly bad.
So, from here, there are controversies. At the center of the storm is Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, As Ever, a business that was supposed to become her next great success story. Instead, reports now claim the company could be facing inventory problems allegedly worth millions of pounds. And as if that wasn't enough, rumors of a potential return to Britain are fueling speculation that all may not be well behind the scenes. So, what is really happening? Is Meghan Markle genuinely facing a financial crisis? Or is this another example of royal drama being blown out of proportion? Stay with us, because the details are raising eyebrows across both sides of the Atlantic. When Meghan Markle launched As Ever, expectations couldn't have been higher. This wasn't just another celebrity product line. It was marketed as a reflection of Meghan herself. Elegant, sophisticated, exclusive. The brand focused on lifestyle products inspired by cooking, entertaining, wellness, and home living. Supporters believed it had all the ingredients for success. After all, Meghan possessed something most entrepreneurs can only dream of. Global name recognition, millions of followers, and constant media attention. The launch generated enormous publicity. Products reportedly sold out rapidly. News outlets around the world covered every detail. For a brief moment, it seemed Meghan had found the perfect formula. The latest drama erupted when reports surfaced suggesting that As Ever may be sitting on inventory valued at approximately £3.7 million. That number immediately caught attention. Social media exploded. Royal forums lit up. YouTube commentators began dissecting every detail. According to the reports, large quantities of products may remain unsold, potentially creating a major problem for the company if consumer demand doesn't match expectations. Some commentators have portrayed the situation as evidence that Meghan's business model is struggling. Others have gone much further, claiming the company may be facing a serious crisis. Within hours, dramatic headlines began appearing everywhere. Business disaster. Sales nightmare. And perhaps most damaging of all, total collapse. Those words spread rapidly across the internet. And once they did, the narrative became difficult to control. For Meghan's critics, these reports appeared to confirm long-held doubts. Many have argued for years that Meghan and Harry's post-royal ventures rely heavily on publicity rather than sustainable business growth. They point to a series of projects that generated huge attention initially but later faced challenges. And they argue that as ever may be experiencing the same pattern. Others question whether enough customers are willing to pay premium prices for lifestyle products in an increasingly competitive market. The reality is that luxury brands depend heavily on repeat customers. Selling out once can create excitement, but long-term success requires consistent demand. And critics believe that may be where the real challenge lies.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't look good. I think the whole thing has been a disaster because Meghan doesn't listen to anybody. They said there that she has terminated her relationship with Netflix, or they terminated it. There was the brand guru who works with Gwyneth Paltrow. No one works with Meghan very long because she doesn't listen to people. And we knew with the marketing games that she was playing in the beginning, where it was the scarcity marketing, it was never really going to be a long-term plan. And the problem is, I think she did have an initial flurry of interest from people that wanted keepsakes, that wanted to buy it. I mean, I've seen as ever products for resale on I think it was eBay and stuff, and people are asking ridiculous money, but they're just not selling. People are not interested. She might have had, as I said, an initial flash in a pan. But once you've tried her spread, majority of people, I don't think it's actually that nice. She's charging luxury prices for things that are cheaply made. And once that reputation goes out there, people are not going to keep restocking it. They'll get it for a novelty. It was a novelty. And that's much what I think Meghan sees everything that she tries anyway. It's always a novelty with her. She likes the attention that each new project gives her. For each new thing that she creates, there's magazine interviews, there's podcasts, there's, if she's very lucky, an interview by Time magazine or Bloomberg. I mean, I don't know who else is going to be out there willing to throw money at giving a Meghan an interview to talk about what a success she is, when it's clearly obvious that everything she touches, well, it just always crumbles, doesn't it? She doesn't listen to anyone. And I think Netflix walking away was the final nail in that coffin. It's clearly obvious that she ordered way too much stuff. But you've got to think to yourself, why would you order that much? Why? What part of your brain would go, I'm going to spend millions on all of this and keep it stocked up at the time in the Netflix warehouses? For what purpose? She'd never bothered to get the items be able to be shipped abroad. That would be the first thing you'd do.
Which she said is coming. Exactly, but it's too late. It's too late now.
Too late now. Too late. Way too late.
And it's like, you've gone from a scarcity. It's like with everything with her, it's the sublime to the ridiculous. It just doesn't work.
Chaos.
Yeah,
She's
total
an
chaos.
agent of chaos.
Total chaos. Jam-mageddon. I like that term.
I like that.
Tash, I did want to ask you about this false rumour which has been going around about the Duke of Kent, and you've been putting this straight this week in regards to Trooping the Colour. So you posted, the Duke of Kent was not sidelined and ignored by the royals on the balcony. He's 90 years old. He is unsteady on his feet and sometimes uses a wheelchair or a walking stick to get about. He was positioned there as it meant he could lean on the column for support. And I was just like, thank goodness, because everyone was trying to make out as if they were somehow trying to push him to one side, which just wasn't true, was it?
No, it wasn't true. I mean, he's very well loved in that family. You can see such an incredible affection with Catherine and Sophie, and even Princess Charlotte, who's often smiling at him. I saw their interactions on VJ Day. And I think he's very, very well loved in that family by everybody. And it just didn't make sense to me logically when people were trying to push it. I was like, there's no way they'd do that. And then my brain was thinking, well, he's always got a cane on his, his right hand side, and he was leaning up against the right, the right side of the column. If he'd have been the other side and needed to lean towards the right, he would have been pushed to the back, and then, there were too many bodies there. He's 90 years old. He just probably wanted to have that, mobility there where he could lean up against the wall. He could still do his duties. I mean, that man has got duty and loyalty ingrained in his DNA. So, of course, he would quite happily, stand there for as long as he could. And it was just people are always looking for drama, much ado about nothing in that instance. But yes, that one was because I know how much he's really loved in that family. And it was people really pushing that one.
And Tash, you also really loved, and I think we can take a look at it, actually, you loved the Kensington Palace release of the behind the scenes video from the day, because you said it's sometimes actually better than the official ones because it's like peeking behind the curtains but without losing any of the magic.
Yeah, it is very much so. You get to see these, these real candid moments between the family members. You get to see the warmth and affection between them, even when they're talking to, staff and things. And I think it takes away that formality of such, obviously, a very, very traditional, historical and formal day. But you get to see a playful side to their personalities. And that is something that I think helps the public warm to the royals rather than just obviously seeing them so stiff and rigid. I think it's a nice thing to look forward to. And I think it's something that actually Catherine and William have actually set the trend for, because I think it was them and their team that started initially doing these little moments behind the scenes, whether it was for a photo shoot or something else. And yeah, I think they're really special, and they just give a different view, a bird's eye view, I guess, of the day. But yeah, no, they are nice to share.
Tash, a huge week of royal news. You are covering it all on your brilliant channel, according to Taz. Make sure you subscribe. And of course on X, Tash has all of the breaking news on X as well. You can find her on according to Taz, but make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel because it is must watch. Thank you so much.
As these concerns spread, the conversation quickly shifted from inventory management to something much bigger. According to sources close to Meghan, claims of bankruptcy and collapse are simply not true. No official bankruptcy filing exists. No verified financial documents have been released showing catastrophic losses. And no credible evidence suggests the company is on the verge of shutting down. Supporters also point out that As Ever is still a relatively young brand. Many successful businesses spend years navigating obstacles before achieving stability. From their perspective, the current controversy says more about Meghan's critics than it does about her company. But regardless of which side you believe, one thing is undeniable. The headlines have already done their damage. As the business speculation intensified, another story began making waves. Rumors that Meghan and Prince Harry could be planning future visits to the United Kingdom. And immediately, royal commentators started connecting the dots. Some claimed the timing was suspicious. Others suggested a UK return might help improve public perception during a difficult period. Several commentators even argued that rebuilding relationships with Britain could strengthen the Sussex brand internationally. Supporters reject those theories entirely. They insist any future visits would likely be connected to family matters, charitable projects, or Harry's ongoing commitments. But in the world of royal reporting, speculation often moves faster than facts. And once a narrative takes hold, it can become nearly impossible to stop. Suddenly, discussions about inventory transformed into debates about reputation, image, and the future of the Sussexes themselves. Here's where the story becomes much larger than jam jars, tea blends, or lifestyle products. Since leaving royal life, Meghan and Harry have attempted something incredibly difficult. They've tried to transform themselves from members of the royal family into independent global entrepreneurs. That transition comes with enormous pressure. Every business move is scrutinized. Every project is analyzed. Every setback becomes front-page news. Most entrepreneurs can make mistakes quietly. Meghan Markle cannot. Every challenge becomes a worldwide headline. And every rumor sparks days of debate. That's the reality of operating under one of the world's most powerful spotlights. Which means that even relatively ordinary business issues can quickly become international controversies. The biggest question now is simple. What happens next for As Ever? If sales remain strong, critics may be forced to rethink their predictions. If new product launches perform well, the narrative could change dramatically. But if demand slows significantly, questions about the brand's future will only grow louder. At this stage, Nobody outside the company truly knows the complete financial picture. And that's why so much of the discussion remains speculative. What we do know is this. The battle over Meghan Markle's public image is far from over. Every success creates new supporters. Every setback creates new critics. And every headline ensures that the debate continues. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more breaking royal news, exclusive updates, and the latest developments from the royal family. Until next time, thanks for watching.